Yo, top of the morning. Pretty cold out here, man. Let my car warm up, so I decided to do a quick video on a topic that, is something that comes across every now and then. And I'm gonna try to be as quick as I can because I got to get my day going. But elite AAU versus community / recreation AAU, and is there a place for community and recreation AAU? Because I know a lot of people feel like only the elite players should play AAU, and AAU is only for a certain select few. It used to be that way. Like when I was a kid coming up, that's how it was. Like if you played AAU, you were looked at as an elite player for the most part. So, we know where AAU stems from, but I'm going to be 100% honest with you. There is a place for recreation AAU and community AAU. It's a different way you got to look at it. Like, I know some people say, oh, well, they're doing all these divisions like silver and bronze and all this type of stuff, and they're just making money off it, which is true. Definitely true. It's definitely true. Cats are making money off this for sure. But I want y'all to take a step back and look at the bigger picture when it comes to community / recreation AAU. Me being born and raised in Vallejo, like I know what sports can do for certain kids. Like there are kids that will not play college athletics at all. Like they're not going to play it. Some are not good enough at all. They will never play college ball, some of them. But at the same time, what playing AAU may have done for those kids was teach them how to be social, or kept them off the streets from getting in trouble, or just flat out build relationships, lifelong relationships with certain teammates and coaches and parents. Some people may have been introverts before playing AAU, and then with them being involved in the AAU, they've allowed themselves to have like second and third homes. Like some parents picking kids up and parents treating kids like they are their own. You know what I'm saying? And so I think a lot of people are kind of forgetting about those kind of kids and those kind of programs that are out there that are really there to serve the community. It's a place for them. Everybody's not going to be elite. And I know certain AAU is definitely for elite kids only, but I still think there is a place for community-based, recreation-based AAU teams that may not have all the best players. This is where the problem comes, though. The problem comes when you do have a community / recreation-based AAU team, and you may get a kid or two that is elite. If you're the community / recreation team, you got to be real with yourself and say, can you serve this kid and give this kid quality from these fronts? Is your practices pushing that kid to be a better basketball player? Is the players that are on your team pushing that kid, or is that kid just the best player every time he steps in the gym and nobody's on your team that is able to challenge him? If you're the community recreation team and you can't push those one or two elite kids that you do have on your team, that's when you have to consider passing them over to the elite programs. I know it's obviously a hard thing to do, but everybody has to be honest with themselves. Everybody thinks they're elite. They're not elite. Okay. All the programs think they're elite. Everybody's not elite. There's programs that are community-based. There are programs that are recreation-based. And then you have the elite programs. And elite programs are not just shoe deals. Okay. They're top-tier independents. Like, I'm going to just be honest and stand on what I say. We're a top-tier independent. Team Rampage is a top-tier independent. So I would definitely put us in the elite class. But, as a recreation program or a community-based program, you got to know, are you doing right by certain kids? Because you're always going to be for the community. You just got to recognize if the kid that you got is best suited for their long-term development. Is their program best suited for their long-term development? Now, there are certain cases where, you might be the community or recreation-based program and you got an elite kid, but you're literally taking care of that kid all the way. Like, you're the one that's picking them up. You're the one that's helping him with his homework. You're the one that's doing this. You're the one that's, he may have a bad family structure at the house, so you're the one that's the lifeline for that kid. Now, if it's a situation like that, hey, man, I don't blame you being hesitant on holding on to that kid. I think there is a gray area in that. But for the most part, man, I think we see a lot of these AAU coaches that are community and recreation based, and they try to basically act like they're elite, and they don't know how the college recruiting process works. And they may not even know how to develop a player all the way to a certain point. Like, you might be the perfect program for that kid starting basketball all the way up to about 8th grade. When that kid gets to 9th grade, he got to get different type of training. Kids can outgrow programs, bro. That's real. That's a fact. That's definitely a fact. So, I just want to do a quick video on the difference between community/recreation-based AAU programs and elite programs. And when is it okay to pass a kid over to those elite programs? And when is it okay to say, man, I don't think he should go to elite programs because I'm doing X, Y, and Z for this kid, and I don't think the elite programs is going to have this particular kid's best interest. There's gray areas in that, but we got to understand that there's a difference between AAU programs, number one, and number two, there is a place for community and recreation-based programs. I don't think we should get back to the old school where there's only elite. I disagree, because there's a bigger side to all that. And if we're in it for helping kids in general, we have to think about those kids that may not play college basketball but need the extra social skills, want to be able to travel and see the world and see different things. And playing AAU can help those kids do that. And that's just me coming and growing up from an inner city. Like, we can't just have just elite kids, bro. We got to have community and recreation. It's like politics, bro. You can't just have the rich. You got to have the poor, and you also got to have the middle class that's going to work. Like, there's a necessity for all. We just got to know what's necessary for certain kids and when it's time for the kids to class up. All right? Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We out.